5, 4, 3. And welcome to the Seb's Crew Stoopod with your host, Andrew from Bay Ridge, Billy Porkchop Mazziello, and David Jiggy Viggy Giuliani!
You want to talk about this Yankee series or what?
Yeah, might as well, right?
Might as well start there. We'll start with these Yankees.
It was very prevalent in the New York area where we lived. It was a big situation.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I was locked into that game last night too. I mean, the first 7 innings were shitty, but that last inning seemed like it was like fucking 2 hours long. It seemed like a movie.
Well, it was pretty tough to stay locked in for those middle 5 or 6 innings. I mean, nothing was happening. It was like, oh God.
The Yankees, they look terrible. I mean, those innings. And you know what? Here's the deal with it. I'll tell you right now. They are going to be a 100-win team every year. They're going to be a great regular season team. They are never going to do well in the play. They didn't have one hitter in their lineup for the season hit above 300, and they had a guy batting 187 or whatever he batted. He was in the lineup. You're not going to win in the playoffs.
Feedback issue here.
What?
Just 187 on an undercover cap.
What feedback?
Feedback went away. It went away.
Yeah. So.
Here, wait, can I just touch on that for a second?
Yeah.
I was thinking about it today. You got a guy like Giancarlo Stanton, right? Now, we all know Giancarlo Stanton, over the course of a season, he's going to put up 40 home runs. He's going to put up 35 home runs. He's going to hit 100 RBIs. But in a short series where the talent level of the pitching is elevated, and that's why you're in the playoffs, because you're not playing these bums. I'm very curious if there's a way we could find a stat on how many home runs Giancarlo hit against pitchers with ERAs under 3.5.
No, that's a very good point.
I bet you're talking about a very minuscule percentage of the home runs that this guy hit.
No,
in his whole career, or are you talking about this year, Bill?
Career.
Okay.
Yeah, and I agree with it. I'll be honest.
That's actually a job for the intern.
We're gonna look that up. We got guys working on that right now.
Billy, I think you're totally right for looking at it from that standpoint, because how many home runs are, leading the home runs or this and that, but it just shows the guy.
Or you're playing the fucking Orioles.
Yeah, the Orioles
fifth.
Yeah, the Orioles fifth starter. But when he gets to the 1 and 2, he's not doing anything. That's his 6 strikeout window, where he goes 0 for 6 with 6 strikeouts. Then he comes back against the 3-4-5 and gets 3 home runs.
See, but watch a guy like Judge, who struggled throughout the season. He was hot, he was cold, he was hot, he was cold. He's kind of considered a feast or famine player, as Giancarlo Stanton is as well.
Yeah, but he even.
Here's the thing. Judge's approach to the plate in that 9th inning, he could feel the situation that Kimber was unraveling. He needs to sit there and take 4 fucking pitches and walk to first base. Giancarlo Stanton couldn't figure that out. He couldn't figure that out. There's a different approach to the plate for a guy who could step in there and say, you know what, this is a big situation for the pitcher as well.
No,
the
definitely.
pressure is on him
Definitely.
as much as it is on me. Let's see him throw me a fucking strike.
He's
unraveling. Kimbrel was unraveling. He was going down.
Yeah. He was like a dick. I mean,
I despise that guy. That arm thing drives me nuts.
This guy Didi is clutch. He's hard.
He is. 100% clutch.
I don't care what the stats are. Like, how bad, when it was Giancarlo's turn to get up, and now you know that this guy is super talented. You know this guy can tie this game up with one swing of the bat. But you know what I was thinking in my head? Man, the Red Sox are really lucky that Bernie Williams isn't at the plate right now.
Well, you're 100% right.
Favorite player, by the way.
The Red Sox are really lucky that Derek Jeter isn't at the plate, that Paul O'Neill isn't at the plate. Okay, maybe those guys didn't hit 40 home runs every year. Maybe those guys were never going to hit 110 RBIs. But you know what? They were professional ball players. And when they got to the plate in the right situation, they had a specific approach on how to handle that situation. And they succeeded.
And Jeter turned out to be a dick, though. You know what? That at-bat by Sanchez was a pretty good at-bat, though. I know a lot of people were hating on him, especially on WFAN.
He did what he was asked to do.
He just missed that on that.
Yeah, but he also got the sac fly on that. That's what
Did
you
he?
want, right? He got a sack fly.
Right, they scored a
That's
run.
fine.
Right.
That's
Listen,
fine.
listen, that's fine. Listen, he did whatever he did, but it doesn't bail him out. He had a horrible season, and he ceases. I don't care what any announcer says. He ceases to get better behind the plate. He costs pitchers so many strikes when you watch the game. So many strikes.
There was one pitch where he just it was just a fastball, a little left to the plate, and he just missed it.
Oh, the one, yeah, that was yeah, and it wasn't even like
Just
it.
went by.
And again, it wasn't a mix-up. He knew the pitch. It wasn't a mix-up. It wasn't a cross-up. He just missed the pitch. And if you watch him, his problem, he frames fucking strikes. It doesn't make sense. He costs strikes because the umpire sees him framing. He doesn't need to frame pitches sometimes.
That umpire was squeezing CeCe, man. He was squeezing
That umpire, what's his name? What's his name, Dougal?
Hernandez.
Jerry Holbrook.
That
was
guy
Hernandez.
is an absolute joke, and he should lose his job after they got this instant replay. He literally doesn't get calls right. I mean, every now and then you get a call wrong. Listen, it's bang bang. I understand. He made one call. It wasn't even close. Like the guy.
Were you talking about that first base umpire?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Well, he was behind the
missed
plate.
like 3 in a row.
He was behind the plate last night.
Yeah, but the guy behind the plate, he was squeezing the shit out of CeCe, man.
That was Angel
he wasn't good
Hernandez
on that outside
from the
corner.
night before.
And I know, it's that's a tough situation. Like,
And listen.
you
Hold on.
gotta give CeCe that outside corner.
Listen
man.
to me with
He
the
doesn't
CeCe
have-
thing.
He's not blowing it past you though.
Listen to me with the CC thing. This guy, he got hit. He was throwing the ball over the plate. You could blame him because he wasn't getting the outside corner, so he had to adjust to put his strike over the plate. Bro, he was not hitting corners. He was not doing his job. Listen, I love CC. The guy is an absolute stellar athlete, warrior, but he did not pitch well.
I was like 280 pounds. He looked like he was going to get his trophy for retirement for 4 years of service to the company.
Now let me ask you.
You know?
Let me ask you, Dougal. And I understand he's not like the most dominant pitcher in the world, and he had a bad first game. But would it have been crazy to go to Hap on 3 days rest to start that game?
To be honest with you, at the time, I was thinking CC's the guy. I really was. He's been there so much. He's been there so many times. If he can give you 4 innings, maybe 5, I was thinking that we can live with that.
I had a debate at work, and I lost $20 on it because I was like, I don't care what it says. They're going to end up starting Hap. It just makes more sense. He only threw like 40 pitches. He has like a 2 ERA against the Red Sox this year. He had a bad start. That's fine in Boston. Now he's home. But I'll be honest, I would have won with him. I understand.
I think Joe Girardi wins that series. How about that?
Ooh, hot take.
I agree. I'm not going to say you're wrong. I like Girardi. I think he was a great coach. I think Aaron Boone was kind of just when you have guys, you have the most home runs in the major leagues.
man.
When you have most home runs in the
He was
major leagues,
overwhelmed.
you're going to do good in the regular season. That's fine.
Yeah, but Dave, with an offense like that, if you give up 4 runs, you got to win that game.
No, but it's not that offense anymore. It's not. You're not going to win games like that. You had Chris Sale coming out of the bullpen. That doesn't happen in the regular season. Sorry. You had Chris Sale in the 8th. Shut down. See you later. Have a nice day. That doesn't happen in the regular season. This is the postseason. Those big bats, it don't work. It don't work. That fucking launch angle don't work. All right, teams like the Astros, teams like this Red Sox team, they're gonna win games with speed, with contact.
Yeah,
How many home runs did they hit the Red Sox? They didn't hit many home runs. They just manufactured runs, got runs in. Guys are on base, you get them in. That's simple.
The Astros Red Sox is going to be one hell of a series, man.
Astros gonna win.
Houston.
Yeah. You know why? I just feel like they're
Too much starting pitching.
too much starting pitching. They're very good hitters, and I think they're going to do what the Yankees needed to do is get to their bullpen. Once you get to that Red Sox bullpen, all bets are off, baby. There is nothing secure. You can have a 5-run lead. We get to that bullpen in the 6th. Oh, it's an open game. Anybody could win that. Their bullpen is completely suspect. Even to the closer, Kimbrel. Fuck that guy. I don't care. Like Dougal was telling me yesterday, he's the fastest to 200 saves, Dougal?
Yeah, he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that's fine. Fuck that guy. I'm telling you in the clutch, that guy's a choke artist, and fuck that arm, bro.
Do you guys want to transition over to football now?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so guys, What's going on with the Giants here? I mean, is Eli the problem?
Actually, Dougal, can we hold on one sec?
Yeah, go ahead.
I need your perspective on, because you're on the West Coast. I'm sorry for cutting you off. How are the Dodgers? Is it the year, you think?
They're good. I mean, look, can they beat the Brewers? Yes. Would I be shocked if they beat the Brewers? No. I mean, they're probably favorites. I haven't looked at the line yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're a good team, man. They have good pitching. Kershaw, we know what he can do. They have this guy, Bueller.
Yeah.
Walker Bueller. Guy's a stud. Look at his numbers the past 2 months. The guy's been, if you want to talk about for the past 2 months, he's a Cy Young winner. If you're just looking at the last 2 months of the season.
And
Ryu's been pretty good.
And you got Machado hitting the ball.
Machado, he's looking for a contract. Kenley Jansen is back as a closer. This team's good. Okay.
All right, Daryl, I just need your opinion being out there. You get a different perspective. You know what I mean?
I think they'll be in the World Series.
No,
Do I want them to be in the World Series? No, but if I had to put a gun to my head, will they be in the World Series? Yeah.
And one more thing, stick with baseball here real quick. Dude, you're a Met fan. Let me ask you a question. Because, social media is huge nowadays. Why do Met fans thrive on this or, gloat about the Yankees losing as if they didn't just have a horrendous year?
You know what I saw a lot on social media today?
Mm-hmm.
I saw Mets fans with the post, the famous post, hey, what time's the Yankee game tomorrow? I actually saw Mets fans writing that. Like, wait, what are you doing?
Bro, it doesn't make sense.
What the fuck are you doing?
They're like, and the argument is always, yeah, I'd rather not be in the playoffs than lose. I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? You'd rather not be in here?
You got all these losers, like these 45-year-old guys, like in sweatpants in their parents' basement. Like, this is all they got. They're like living off this.
Yeah.
This is a big thing for them.
It drives me nuts to see this stuff. It's ridiculous. Like, it's just not even an argument. I hate that argument. I'd rather not be in the playoffs. It doesn't even make sense.
The Mets run a horrific organization, man. It's that simple.
Well, what they do is, at the beginning of the year, they put good shit on paper. It looks really good. And then it just falls apart.
Well, Bernie Madoff with all their money, so, what are we going to do about that? Guy's doing like 200 years right now for stealing people's. Was it worth it?
For him, absolutely. Yeah, sign me up for that deal. I get to live for 50 years with unlimited billions, and then the next 20 in a jail cell. Yeah.
And you got to believe he had money buried for his family, right?
Well, I don't know. His son killed himself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, some shit like that.
Yeah, all hell broke loose in his family. So
yeah, I don't know.
This was not a guy who was concerned with other people. His ego was so driven. Listen, I actually believe that Bernie Madoff didn't intend for that to go down like that. Like, I don't think he was trying to be a mastermind criminal thief. I think what happened was he needed to be the best at what he did, and things started to go wrong. And the only way that he could continue to look like the man was to start skimming a little bit. And then it's like a snowball effect. When you break the law or you commit a crime, or even think about it as a lie. Think about a lie at work, or a lie to your wife, or when a kid tries to lie to you. You just have to keep lying.
You have to make up other lies.
Yeah.
That lie. Yeah.
And it just snowballs. It snowballs out of control. It's just that his is on such a grand scale. You're not talking about who took the cookie out of the cookie jar. Well, what happened was the dog took it, but the dog didn't eat it because the mouse stole it from the dog. No. We're talking about billions of fucking dollars here. We're talking about people's pensions. We're talking about lives destroyed. So that, again, I don't think Bernie Madoff was intentionally trying to destroy people's pensions. And I think that in the back of his mind, he always thought he was going to catch up.
That's what you always think, yeah.
The next one was going to be like, it's like gambling. You're at the roulette wheel. Can it really go
20.
against me again?
20, baby. Let me get that 20. 17, 20.
That's nine Reds in a row. There's no way another Red's coming out.
Yeah.
Bill, do you remember when we were in Vegas?
Oh, my God.
We were at some casino. It was like downtown or some shit. And
it was the casino from Vegas Vacation.
Right.
Like 500.
It wasn't on the strip. It was off the strip, whatever. It's all good. We were playing roulette. There was a few people there who were just hanging out. We were betting 17-20 big. Other numbers too. We hit on 20 like 2 times. 2 out of like the 4 rolls was 20. Bam. They had to call the manager to like get all the chips in order and shit to pay everyone.
And Dave, you know how I stacked those 2 numbers there?
Yeah.
Right. The 17-20. Long story short, after it hit twice out of 4 times, we just kept doing it. The next roll, it's rolling around. It's rolling around. It finally stops in 20. It bounces out at 20. It bounces out. They popped that shit out.
They pushed the button.
popped
They
it
pushed
out
the
from, like,
button.
underneath. There
You
was
know what
someone,
was
yeah, definitely. But it was
You wanna
in.
hear
I
what-
swear it was in.
You want to hear what the most disturbing part of that entire situation was? Let me tell you something. So we ended up in this casino, right? And like I said, it was like they had war and and there was pick a number, and there was a sign outside that said like join our pool, $50 weekly. Like, wait, this casino is awarding a $50 prize weekly. This is the casino we're in here, okay? I got bookies down on fucking 18th Avenue that give out more than $50 a week.
Right outside the OTB.
And so we go to this casino, and me and Boo we're pretty banged up, and we put the money on 17 and 20. I think the second spin it hit 20. Bam. I was like, yo, here we go. And then the third spin, nothing. Or I think it even hit 3, which I like to put small on. And then the third spin, bam, 20 again. I'm like, oh my God.
I had 2 black chips I put in my chest pocket. Plus, I had all my chips on the table. Like, I was chilling.
At this point, Dave, I'm talking, I probably have close to $2,000 on the table, right? Or I probably had 2 purples, which are the 500s in my pocket, and a total of about $2,000 out there. And I just bought in with 100. My mother-in-law comes walking over to the table. Okay? So now I'm putting the only 2 numbers that we're really betting at this point are 17 and 20, and I'm putting like 100 and 100. Because look, I'm up $2,000. I'm ready to hit this. You know what I'm saying, Dave?
Yeah, I've been there.
This.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
And it was
And then I'm throwing like maybe 100 on black as kind of like a safety insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it bounces out, I'll take the black. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just so I can get another spin out of it. And as I'm doing this, here comes my mother-in-law, and she's putting $10 on red.
Oh my God.
Right? So it's like bouncing out of the 20, it's landing in the 5 red, and she's doing like the whoop there it is Cabbage Patch to me. I told you red, and she's picking up her 2 fucking red chips, and I'm just watching like mortgage payments being slid into a hole, like and they have that like smirk on their face, the dealer, as they take all your money, and they just like smoosh it into a fucking little hole, and it just like spins a little bit and then sucked away like with your soul. It goes right down this little thing. And, you know, me being me, this happens like 4 times in a row. Now I'm getting like visibly angry, and I'm telling her, stop putting $10 on the fucking number.
She keeps doing it?
If you're going to play the red,
Oh my
put
God.
a fucking $100 on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're going to play the red, just play it. Meanwhile, Dave, don't forget, that's my money. I gave her the money to play with.
Salt in the wound.
So she's betting my money against me at a 1 to 10 ratio so that I lose.
Oh my God.
Now we're at like 9 reds in a row. She's still not up $100. I'm down my original 100 plus another 5.
Oh, that hurts.
All I'm thinking is, forget the numbers. I'm down 500. Let's put 500 on black. It's got to be black. Once I get back that original 5, I can get back inside and hit that 17 and 20 again. Because now it's been 10, 12 spins and we haven't hit this fucking number again. We ended up with like
I swear,
13.
it was in the 20.
No, we ended up.
You
we
would
ended
never
up with
convince me of anything. It was in the 20 for like 3 seconds. And
we ended
jumped
up
out.
with about 13 consecutive reds,
Oof.
and I was down almost $2,000, and that was on a day that I was in Vegas only because I missed my plane earlier that day, so I wasn't even supposed to be there, which at first was why I was winning, was what I thought. this is like one of those things where the story is great. I wasn't even supposed
Karma.
to be here. I missed my plane. It actually went the exact opposite way.
Oof.
And
Whenever
Yeah, it's
you
pretty
whenever you get
painful.
stuck in Vegas, it's never gonna work out for you.
Dougal, I had a good
just
run.
not gonna happen.
Dougal, I had a good run.
Not happening.
We were in Atlantic City like 2 weeks ago. Billy was there. We were there for a bachelor party, and we're walking to dinner. And I'm with Mikey. I'm like, yo, Mikey, just follow me. Trust me. He's like, all right. So I was like, all right, give me $25. I was like, he's like, all right. He gives me 25. I get 25. I put 25 on 8 and 25 on black. Bam! I hit it. I hit the number. I hit black. Nice. Keep going. We walked away from that table, Billy, in how long? Probably 11 minutes.
yeah, it was under 15 minutes for sure.
Yeah. So we were, we're going. We do it once, do it twice. We walk away from that table with $1,200 in like 11 minutes, and we probably were up like 1,900 because I started putting like 100 on a number, trying to really crush it.
Really? And you were hitting on that?
I ended up losing on that, but we walked away with $1,200 in 11 minutes from $25 each,
roulette.
$50 on roulette. Yep. It was a really good run.
And then I jinxed Dave.
Yeah. Oh my God, he jinxed the fucking shit out of me. I'm playing, bro. Even after dinner, I go to the tables. I'm still hot. I'm like hitting numbers. Then he comes over and he's like, "Yo, Dave, I just saw your niece, Ashley." Dougal, I didn't hit a fucking number. I didn't hit a color. I couldn't hit a fucking thing after that.
What numbers do you like to? What numbers were you playing, Dave?
My numbers
What
I
do you
play
like to play
are
on roulette?
727, 811, 414.
Okay.
Those are my numbers. I put 25 on each. That's my numbers.
17 and 20 all day, right, Dougal?
17, 20. Oh my God, we were
727. I
we
don't
were
do.
on that. We were killing it on that. That's it, man. It was crazy.
Yeah, speaking of Atlantic City, actually, I got a good story with Atlantic City. Cakes will never let me live down. Billy, you were not there for this one. It was me, Junior, and Cakes. We go out to Atlantic City on like a fucking Wednesday or something like that. We go out and gamble. So we're there, and I had to get back for work because we were working on the Mercantile Exchange or whatever. So it's like 2 in the morning. We end up leaving AC. We stop at like a Burger King. And I'm online. I'm ordering food. And this girl's online, and she starts talking to me. She's like, "Yeah, what's up, this and that." She's like, "Oh, you with them?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "I just got off work." I was like, "All right, great. That's great." She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I got to go into work. I got to get home." She's like, "Listen, me and my friends just got off work. We're going back to my house for a little after party." I was like, "Oh, where you work?" She's like, "Delilah's Den." I was like, "Oh, the strip club?" She's like, "Yeah."
I know where that is. I know
She's
that
like,
place.
"Yeah, you and your friends, you guys should come back to the house." I was like, "Nah, I gotta go home. I gotta go to work tomorrow." Bro, Cakes to this day says he's gonna die and never have that opportunity again in his life. He never lets me live it down.
I mean, there's other clubs you could go to. I'm sure we can recreate that.
That's
There's
a
lot of
tough
clubs
one.
out there.
We weren't in the club. We were in a Burger King.
Anybody-
Anybody has that other sponsor we had? We want to make sure we get the plug in.
Cash App? Cash App, the best way to transfer money on the internet. Cryptocurrency, real currency, euros, liras, anything you got to transfer, you do it on Cash App. If you what's the promo code, Dougal?
Promo code is SEVZ, SEVZ, for a $20 credit on your first transaction.
All caps, people, all caps. It's case sensitive. We had a caller call up complaining about it. They didn't use all caps. They didn't get the discount. They didn't get the free credits. I sent them a check for $20. It's probably gonna bounce, but I sent them the check anyway. Maybe they could just frame it. Who gives a shit?
Send it back to them on the Cash App. Fuck it, even if it bounces.
I don't know how to use Cash App.
What?
You might as well toss that fucking softball right in there for me, huh? Woo! I'll tell you this. I'm watching Alien right now, the original. Man, this movie's intense.
I actually just saw that. I was at work and it was on, and I couldn't help but watch it. But I'm watching it at the same time, and like these effects are horrible, but it's still a good movie.
This is a good movie.
It
movie.
really is. You're 100% correct. I just seen that like 3 days ago, and I couldn't take my eyes off
right
it.
now, there's like a half of a body blown up of a guy, and there's like milk all over the guy, and he's like holding on to somebody who's being sucked out into space, and he's literally just from like the solar plex down is gone, and it's just a puddle of milk there. I don't even understand what's happening here. And you're talking about like the door of a spaceship opened up, and he's holding on. And he's also holding on to someone else who couldn't keep their grip when the vacuum of space tried to suck them.
That movie's intense. Like, there was one part where a body got ripped in half when I was watching it.
Oh, man, this guy's guts are all on the floor.
All right,
And you guys see the rib
we're all
cage.
gonna watch this movie, and then our next we'll do a regular podcast, and then we'll do a whole other alien podcast.
Alien.
Wow.
And what'd they make?
30-minute alien podcast.
Oh, he's
What'd they make?
making
3 of them?
Oh, my
Just
God.
the movie.
They made 3 of them, right?
Yeah, see, Alien 1 is on right now, and Alien 3 is on next.
They
I
skipped
don't know
2?
what happened to Alien 2.
That's a tough move to skip 2.
Yeah, I don't know what happened here. This is kind of weird, man.
Let me ask you, I need an opinion here, all right? I'm like in between on it. I'm not in between on it. I have my stand on it, I should say. Dougal, I know you don't have kids, this and that. Billy, you got a daughter, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's say they go to play softball, right? What's the
Wow,
deal?
now Sigourney Weaver's in like panties and a wife beater with her nipples out. How did that happen?
It's, the 90s, right?
Anyway, go ahead.
So how do you feel, or what's your view? I don't know if you've experienced
She's got the
this
same
yet.
haircut as my dad, Sigourney
Yeah, she
Weaver.
had like a short hair on the side with like a
She
fucking.
got the same haircut as my dad,
the Howard Stern look.
looking like Greg. All right, I'm sorry, Dave. This is just fascinating to me.
That's fair enough. All right, so the girls play, all right? Young age, I don't even think college, but wearing the mask, all right?
It's the rules.
First of all, it's not the rules, all right? Second of all, listen, when I see a 7-year-old, 8-year-old boy, they don't wear a mask. That's the first thing. All right, if you want to say, maybe at the hot corner, third base, a pitcher, put the mask on. Okay, I understand that because it's closer. I understand that. But when I see girls in left field, center field, and right field with a fucking mask on, I want to fucking rip my hair out. Listen.
Do you have the choice of not wearing the mask, or is it
Yes.
mandatory?
No.
Well, Dave,
Yeah.
I'm going to actually tell you, I might be stretching here, but I don't think I am. I think that's the symptom of a misogynist society. So it's.
Oh, we're getting deep here.
Well, no,
We're
no,
on third
hold on.
eye.
I think you're
Because
right.
I think that it's like frowned upon for a girl to have any kind of damage to their face, and people think that, a smush nose or a crooked nose or a Marsha, that this could actually affect the girl's future.
I
But
agree.
a guy, it doesn't matter what his face looks like. He should be able to succeed anyway.
And
I think the
I
parents
agree.
are protecting the girls' faces, and I actually think that they're perpetuating a false narrative that these girls have to be pretty to succeed in life.
I totally agree with you. I
was
spoke
deep,
with my. He's totally right. I've spoke with my wife about it, Nikki. I've spoke with her, and that is the exact reason this happens. And I totally agree with you.
But is that wrong?
It is wrong, and it is wrong for reasons.
No. I understand the principle is wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but is it actually wrong?
It is wrong. It really is.
Like, are girls perceived differently if they're ugly? Is it harder for an ugly girl to make friends? Is it harder for an ugly girl to get a job? Is it harder for an ugly girl to succeed in life? I think
I
it
have
is.
the answer to this. I have the answer to this. Ready?
I think it is.
2 words. 2 words. It depends.
I don't think it does.
It depends.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you bring that, all right. Listen, I play ball. I still play ball. If you bring that between the lines, you could never be a real ball player. If that's the way you're going to coach,
No. These parents don't expect their daughters to be a real ball player. They're using this as babysitting time.
No. Some girls are legit ball players. They're going to be ball players. What is Division III, whatever it is? They're going to be ball players for the future of their career. This is not like the team
Jenny
she's
Finch,
with.
she's a real
The
ball
girls
player.
she's with are ball players. Like they're legit ball players, and I understand that.
But my whole thing
But
is,
here's the thing, Dave. So here's the difference, right? When a boy, right off the bat, most parents are blinded by the local level of talent. So if their kid is phenomenal at a sport compared to the local talent level, all the way up through high school, right? That parent, as a boy, will pretty much assume that their child has a shot to do this for a living, okay? And it's not going to matter what happens out there as long as in between the lines they do the right thing and they play hard and they win and they succeed. But the girl's parents are still talking to the girl about what she's going to do when softball is over. You understand?
I'm going to disagree with you. I mean, a blind parent would look at it like that. In the end, no matter what, a parent should look at it as the main. Listen, you go the professional route, that's great. You go that route, that's fine. But the goal, in essence, in anything, boy, girl, if you look at it any different, you're looking at it wrong, is a collegiate education. All right? If you're an athlete, that's your goal. Anything after that is extra. That's fine. But your main goal is that collegiate education. All right? After that, listen, how many players don't go drafted? That's fine. The boys level, how many players do not play? That's fine after college. You can't look at it as, oh, my son's talented, he's going to the major leagues. No. My son is talented, he's going to a college. He's going to get money for a college. He's going to get an education.
So Dave, next time, see, this entire, what I was talking about before with the misogynistic society and the protecting the girl's face more than the protecting of a boy's face and things like that, that's something that I've tried to be in tune to since my daughter's been alive. And I pretty much have explained to my daughter, and I want you to try this next time you see my daughter. I want you to say to her, hey, Viola, you're beautiful. So I don't instruct her what to say. But what I did was I explained to her why that's not the most important thing, or it's not a super relevant topic for someone to bring up to you. So at this point, after explaining this to her, most of the time, if she feels comfortable with the person to respond, like she's not being shy to a stranger, like if you were to say to her, like, hey, Viola, nice to see you, you're beautiful. You know what she's probably going to say to you? I'm really smart, too.
No, that's good. That's 100% good.
Or I'm really funny. Or I did my homework last night as well. She's going to try to bring up something to you that she thinks is more important than her just being beautiful.
And I think that's good. That's a good way to have her look at it. Absolutely, just not look at one aspect. Whether you're beautiful or not doesn't make who you are. And I agree with that. But again, this goes back to the whole thing. What?
Does it?
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
I don't know if that's true, Dave.
Does it? Are you asking? Does it make who you are? No. Maybe it'll help here and there, but it'll help for the wrong reasons.
Is it disadvantageous to be ugly?
Yes.
It is.
I mean, if you're going for a job and there's 2 people or 3 people going, and fucking 2 people are ugly to the person that's doing the interview, and one person is pretty to the person that's doing the interview, who do you think they're going to pick?
They're probably going to pick the better looking person.
Right.
Now, I don't know if they're doing that even intentionally.
I'm sorry, I had to Google disadvantageous. All right, I'm good. I'm back.
Well, Dave, can you Google this question? Does being good looking affect your success? I bet you Google knows that.
I'm not going to Google that,
knows
but I
everything.
understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, and yes, it may give you it may give you an upper hand here and there. Should it? No, but does it? Yes, in realistic terms, I understand that, but I don't think as a parent, as a coach, or anything like that, I should go out there with that as a reason, because you're 100% right, because no matter what anybody says, and again, the coach may be looking out for her, he tells her to put it on, but I just don't see the reason. My whole thing is, if I'm in the outfield, if I'm in the infield, and I get a fly ball, I'm in the outfield, I get a fly ball, and it hits my fucking face. Hey, you should have caught the ball.
But Dave, Have you seen that at the high school and college level? Because I'm pretty sure you have.
Of what?
A pop fly hitting a guy in the face.
In baseball?
Yeah.
Yeah, I witnessed it firsthand.
I think you told me that happened when you played at Kingsborough, and that's
Yes.
on a collegiate level.
Yes. Yeah, it happened. It did happen. But
Now,
yeah,
But that being said, I agree. If you can't catch a fly ball, you shouldn't be playing college ball.
100%.
And you shouldn't get hit in the face.
This kid got
It could
drilled in the
fall out of your
fucking face,
glove,
bro.
But it shouldn't hit you in the face.
Now, and again, I agree. I could agree. I could accept third base pitcher. I could accept that because in softball it is closer. That's fine. I accept that. But to have the shortstop, middle infield, and the outfield, even at a young level, why am I going to teach this kid it's okay, you're going to be protected by this mask?
Well, no, I think it comes down again. Now, the more that I talk about it, the more that I think of another theory that I have, and it's a little bit outside of that original theory, leading more towards the pussification of America.
Oh, I agree.
And here's a big problem with that in the sports world. I mean, I don't know if we have to get into the participation trophies and all that kind of other jazz and nonsense, but I know this as an athlete. The moment that you play with the fear that you might get hurt, that's when you should stop playing that sport.
Absolutely.
Because you're more detrimental to the team than you are a positive.
I
If
agree.
you're out there thinking about what bad could happen, you shouldn't be out there.
I
You
agree.
could go do something else.
And I think you need to experience it. You need to have that. If it happens, I don't want my daughter to get drilled in the face. I don't want her nose to be broken. I don't want her fucking eye socket to be broken. I don't want that misinterpreted. But it's part of the game. If it happens, you're not protected from that. You don't wear a fucking mask. You get out there, you play again. If you don't want to get out there again, you're not meant for this game. That's the way I look at it. If
And
it
that's
happens
fine
to you,
too.
and
That's
it is,
fine too.
it is. If you can't take that, that's fine. You understand where you stand. That's how it is. But you don't get protected from it wearing a fucking catcher's mask in the field. It's just not the way the game's played. And you could tell me games are changing, this and that. It's not changing. That's the way the game is played. You either take it or you're not. That's how I view it.
People are over-parenting and over-protecting their kids to the umpteenth extent at this point. And all they're doing, all that these parents are doing, and I don't want to do it, but it's difficult not to do it because you want to show your kid the right thing. It's very difficult to watch your kid fuck up when you know you can save them from the fuck up. It's difficult. It is. But it's important at the same time.
You
It's
have to let them
important.
fuck up.
You know, so like just this is just a tactic that I do. When my son climbs onto the top of the couch, which is 3.5 feet tall, and he's only 1.5 feet, and he's thinking about jumping off the back, I have 2 options there. Or I have 3 options. I could grab him. I could say, Frankie, don't jump off that couch. Or what I've opted to do at this point is, Frank, if you fall, it's going to hurt a lot. Do what you got to do. Just know that if you fall, it's going to hurt a lot. And sometimes he jumps anyway. And sometimes he hits his head and sometimes he doesn't.
Well, I'm all for that. I'm behind that 100%.
See, but that's borderline neglectful parenting.
No,
Do
it
you
is
realize
not.
that?
No, it is not. It's letting the kid learn. It's letting a kid learn. Like, they have to learn. I can't give them every answer. It's not going to happen. You got to
I
learn.
actually think it was you, or I don't remember if it was you. I think it was you who posted, somebody wrote an open letter to their daughter. And a lot of it actually pertained to like casual sex as the early 20s. But in the letter, it said something that I took out of that before I even had a kid. It was right after you had your first daughter, and I didn't have a kid yet. And you posted this open letter that a guy wrote. You posted it on Facebook, and in there it said, the father said to the daughter, I'm not going to be able to put a bandage on every wound that you have, but I will be able to show you where the medicine cabinet is, and I will be able to show you how to put that Band-Aid on for yourself, but I'm not going to be able to put everyone on for you. And that resonated with me. Do you remember posting
I
that?
do remember posting it. And I agree
You
with it.
still have that saved?
I don't have it saved. It'll have to come up with a memory. But I remember posting. I agree with it totally. And I'll tell you what, it's little things. It's little things. Like, I had softball practice tonight with her. You know, she goes out. But I refuse to do little things. Like I understand that that whole article was a little more intense than, let's say, sports or anything like that. But with her, like with her or Callie, either of my kids, when you're playing a sport, I'm not coming to zip up your fucking bag. You zip your bag, you take your cleats off, you put your shit away. That little thing right there, I see parents all the time. Oh, I'll zip your bag, I'll take your cleat off, I'll hold your bag, I'll hold your bat. No, that's your responsibility. That's your equipment. That's you. That's you. That's not me. That's your stuff.
A lot of that though, Dave, is the parent just wanting to get it over with because they have other shit to do. So they don't want to waste 15 minutes while the kid fucks around with a zipper.
I'll be honest, that's detrimental to a kid. Let the kid do it.
It is.
100%. Let the kid do it. Just because you have somewhere to go, give it the 3 minutes to let this kid know the responsibility of gathering their shit together.
So my daughter's first day of kindergarten, I brought her there, right? The first day. We walk in the classroom. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was the second day because I didn't bring her to school the first day. I brought her to school the second day, right? And we walk in, and I introduced myself to the teacher. I said, hi, I'm Billy. Viola's my daughter, blah, blah, blah. And they said, oh, Viola, good to see you, right? And I noticed that they have all these little cubby holes. You remember those things, right?
Yes, yes.
Where the kids put their shit. So my daughter walks in the room, she unzips her jacket, and she drops her jacket and her school bag off her back and runs to the back of the room. Just on the floor.
No good.
So I look at it, I look at my daughter, and the teacher comes over and picks it up and says to the assistant teacher, where's Viola's cubby? And I said, excuse me, I hate to interrupt and tell you what to do, but do me a favor and don't pick that up. And she's like, what are you talking about? I said, Viola, come back over here. Pick this up off the floor and put it in the cubby hole. And she said, well, I don't know which one's mine, Dad. I said, well, what letter does your name start with? And she said, V. I said, well, I only see one cubby here with the letter V on it. So find it and put your stuff away. Am I wrong?
No, 100% right. 100%.
Because the teacher looked at me like I was out of my fucking mind.
Dougal, I want to bring you into this because you're a good outside source of this right here. Based on what we said, I know it's a lot of shit we've said. What do you feel on this? Whether girl, boy, kid, what do you feel?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're around your kid and you see them doing something stupid, like just tell them, you know. I mean, just tell them, you know, don't in a certain way. Just be real with them, you know. That's the best way I could say it. Like, be real with them. Like, if your shit's on the ground, pick your shit up.
Now, let me ask you, Dougal, have you, especially being where you work and everything like that, have you experienced the opposite where there is no, hey, correct that, rather than, oh, just do that, don't worry about it?
White parents let their kids do whatever they want.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
white kids get away with wild shit in public that black and Spanish kids would never, or Chinese or Arabic would never get away with. You ever see the way like kids in Park Slope talk to their parents?
I've seen it. Yeah, it's.
Shut up, Mom. What are you out of your fucking mind?
My dad used to hit us.
Yeah,
of course.
And you know what? You know what? I'll tell you what. If we had like 1 million followers right now, Dougal, right now, you saying that.
Do.
I understand we do, but if you saying that right now, that would be like, oh, Andrew from Bay Ridge got abused as a kid. No.
Just a slap. We got punched. In the arm. Not in the face, in the arm.
Fuck you, kid.
Now, let me ask you, Dougal. No, let me clear this up just for our million listeners, this and that. It was a punch after doing something stupid or just to punch you?
No, of course, after doing something stupid.
I just wanted to clear that up for the listeners.
I didn't put enough ice in my dad's whiskey glass, so I got punched in the fucking mouth. And that's just the way life is, okay? So you know what? The next time I put 3 cubes instead of 2. And then I got punched because he only wanted 2. Because ice cubes in your whiskey are like tits.
Ice displacement. Remember ice displacement?
Oh, ice
if
displacement.
If you put 10 ice cubes in the cup and you'll pour a little whiskey, it's going to fill up 3/4 of the cup. But you're not really getting all that whiskey. It's ice displacement.
Listen, buoyancy is equal to water displaced. That's the bottom line. Sorry.
A tree falls in the woods and no one hears it. Does it make a noise?
Bill,
No,
you
it
live in the
doesn't
woods.
actually.
You tell
Would
me.
a rose, by any other name, still be a rose?
So, like I was saying, I personally have yet to had to slap my kids. I'm not saying I won't slap my kids, because if I feel like it's warranted, I will. I do think, though, that the violent I don't even want to use the word violent, but the physical.
And you're just talking about a slap here. We're not even doing a punch. We're talking about a slap.
That's why I want to change the word from violence, because violence to me means something more than a slap. The physical retaliation in a disciplinary fashion. I think that's very reactionary by the parent, and I think that the parent, you've already gotten into a situation where the kid isn't understanding what the discipline needs to be, that you had to react in such a way that you had to physically stop the situation. Like, I don't want to. I'm not saying I won't hit my kids if it's warranted, but I haven't had to yet, and I don't want to. Because what I hope is that I can use words and demonstrations prior to the event taking place to make sure that I don't have to react in a certain way. Have I wanted to hit my kids? Fuck yeah, I have wanted to hit my kids. I want to hit my wife. I want to hit my dog. I want to hit everybody. Listen, my dog, no, turn that fucking alarm off. Turn that fucking alarm off, because I got something to say. Shut that shit off. I got something to say. My dog is a fucking asshole. My kids are fucking assholes. And my wife is a fucking asshole. And that's just the way it is. And anybody who says differently, they're just living in fucking la-la land. They're on fast forward, okay? Because dogs are assholes because they act like fucking crackheads for human food and attention. And I ain't got no fucking time for that. And little
I don't know why
kids...
people get dogs.
Listen, little kids... Hold on a second. Little kids, they act like crackheads for attention and snacks. They act like fucking crackheads for that shit. Dad, I want a gummy snack. Shut the fuck up.
What's a gummy snack?
And you know what? And wives and women in general, in my life, they're addicted to just breaking balls like a fucking crackhead. They argue with you, just argue.
Yeah, I think we've heard that before. We've heard that a bunch of times throughout history, Bill. We got that one. But you guys want to move on from hitting the kids to something else? Or?
Let's go back to that rape. As per usual, I crossed the line and
I'm having a good time here. I'm going to be honest. I'm having a good time.
How about those Rangers, huh? Good thing my wife would never listen to this, right?
I was just going to say that. I was going to be like, you better pray she never listens to this shit.
Nah, she'll never listen to this. Even if she did, this is not in like the first 40 seconds, which is the attention span of a goldfish, a child, a dog, and a wife. It's all the same fucking thing. They all have the same attention span.
Oof.
It's fucked up,
Billy,
man.
You're still on for that Thanksgiving out here, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely spending Thanksgiving in Los Angeles. So we're going to try to meet up for Thanksgiving dinner. And then I'm hoping you take me to a local watering hole, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Dougal,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Billy, I'll warn you. When Dougal takes you to In-N-Out Burger, do not order the same thing as him. Hickey did this when we were down there. So we were online, and Dougal orders his order, which he probably gets all the time. And then Hickey's like, all right, I'm going to get what this guy gets because he's from fucking California. So he gets it. But Dougal doesn't get the buns, so he gets lettuce instead of buns on his burger.
Yeah, well,
Hickey walks back to the counter with the 2 pieces of lettuce, looks at the guy and goes, give me buns, you could have this back. And he hands him the fucking lettuce.
That's that Cali living, bro. That's that Cali living.
I'm not saying Dougal's wrong. I'm just saying,
listen,
Dougal, I'll be honest, Dougal,
No,
you could have turned around and been like, Hickey, just so you know, I order lettuce for buns. That would have been acceptable.
No.
It was really busy. It was a long line.
Listen, at one time, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, me and Dougal probably shouldn't have been driving a vehicle. I think we were in the Thunderbird. We decided to take a ride. We were listening to that Mobb Deep album. The second one was that Infamous or Infamy,
right?
Infamous. Yeah, we were listening to Infamous. We're rocking out in the Thunderbird, probably smoking a couple doobs, drinking a 6-pack. We decided to take a late night ride to White Castle, and when we get there, we see like this. They have the white sign outside with the letters on it, and it says something like 12 lobster bites, 99 cents, and. I get like
going for that.
I got like the 5 cheeseburgers, the fries, and the chicken rings. Not really sure what part of a chicken is a ring, but they're fucking delicious. So I got the rings that are
Put
made
the
of
chicken in
chicken.
the burger. Put the lobster
And,
thighs, put the chicken rings inside the burger.
Dougal got the lobster bites. And,
Lobster bites from White
yeah, and
Castle.
he was dipping them in like the tartar sauce, and
Wow.
he was like visibly upset at the poor quality of these lobster bites. And I couldn't really figure out why he was so surprised by the fact that the 99-cent lobster bites from White Castle weren't phenomenal.
And
He was,
it's like 3 in the morning.
he
It's
was
so weird.
expecting like primo quality, like deadliest catch, fresh off the boat lobster bites.
Salmon.
Dougal, do you
Yeah.
recall this?
Absolutely not. Are you kidding me? Going back 20 years.
We were pretty tuned up anyway. We probably shouldn't have been driving. We're not. Actually, that's one of our sponsors right now. Actually, it's funny that we segued into that. I got a sponsor with MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. So their new campaign is, if you can't drive drunk, you probably shouldn't have been driving at all. Okay? Driving is a tertiary activity. There's no need to keep your eyes on the road. That should be the last thing you're worried about. Just don't fucking kill anyone. All right.
Wow, that was good.
Bill, remember when we went to the Tool concert with like
You guys are killing me here.
remember when we went to that fucking it was that Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young concert that your mom got
Absolutely.
tickets for? It was in,
Absolutely.
Like, it was in, like, I don't even know where the fuck
Jones
it was.
Beach. Jones
Right.
Beach.
Yeah. Or
And
right,
we met Neil
right.
Young.
Yeah. We met Neil Young. Remember when we took the picture with him?
Yeah, it was his idea. And
Is
we
this-
had like
is-
the
is
camera.
this-
It was
is
like,
this real?
You had to crank the camera.
Is this
It was
real?
one of those. Yeah.
I really honestly didn't know about
So
this.
what happened here is, let me just break this down for you. Dougal was a big proponent of getting to the front when you're at a show. And we had good seats to begin with, so getting to the front, we were in the orchestra kind of seating, like where we were standing, the SRO. And so like there was just one or two fences that we had to climb over. And I'm like doing like my quick parkour, jump over it, and Dougal just like Stretch Armstrong like steps over this 6-foot fence. You know what I mean? He's got these praying mantis legs that gracefully go over one at a time. You know, like remember when Andre the Giant used to just step over the
Step
top
right
rope,
over the top rope. Like,
and everybody else had to like push it down and jump over it or slide in between.
That was
So
intimidating.
anyway, we get over this fence or two. Next thing we know, we're in the parking lot where all the tour buses are. There's just like a whole bunch of tour buses out there, and we don't really know what we're doing. I think the concert's still kind of going on, and we're kind of like ducking behind shit. We had a couple beers in our pockets, and then like here comes walking Neil Young, and we were just, I don't remember who initiated the contact, but we basically said like, oh my God, Neil Young, great show, it's an honor to see you or something. And Neil Young looked at us like, he stopped what he was doing, he looked at us and he said, how old are you? And we said, well, I guess we were 21 or 22. And he said, and you know who I am? And
really?
we said, man, you're Neil Young, you're a fucking legend. And he said, you guys want to take a picture or something? So then he tosses, we whip out the camera, you know, you gotta bring it up to 1 hour photo to get it developed.
Disposable?
Yeah. 1 hour photo where
No,
the
it-
guy's like taking all the pictures out, the ones that
Is,
he likes. and he's
isn't
putting
that
them to the
crazy
side.
that kids will never know what a disposable camera was?
They still sell them in some CVS's.
Nobody
you might wanna
buys
go
them.
buy those.
You got a fucking phone, bro.
So, well, what happens when technology? Somebody hacks technology. You're gonna need those.
All right, just go back to your story before you get retarded.
How are you gonna take a selfie without your phone, man?
Just stop.
So anywho, so Neil Young we give him our disposable camera, the green one, and he tosses it to like his girlfriend or his wife or whatever, and he like puts his arms around us. He takes like a couple quick photos with us, and then I said, yo, it's an honor to meet you, man. And you know what he said to us? It's an honor to meet you guys.
Ah, that's
And he got
awesome.
onto his bus. Yeah, and we were like pretty fucking like, wow, that was fucking awesome. And that camera is probably still undeveloped because I didn't have the $8.99 to get the 1 hour photo.
From
And
Genovese?
I wasn't dropping it. I had the 1 hour photo right on the corner with Conrad, the kid who turned into a Nazi. He was like an albino Nazi, which kind of worked out well for him.
His dad had the 1 hour photos Alpha third.
Yeah. And I wasn't going to Genovese for like the 72-hour wait. Who the fuck's got time for that shit? So I think it went undeveloped. It might be in a box somewhere. I don't know. I know I have it in my brain.
long story short, I'll probably see you next month right here, right, Bill?
Yes, you will.
Are you
will,
really
November
you really going out there,
22nd.
Bill?
Yeah, November. I'm stopping there on my way to Sydney.
Oh, really cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm stopping on my way back as well. But I'm only going to be in LA for 24 hours each way.
24 hours is enough, plenty of time.
Let me tell
Yeah.
you. I'll tell you something. My experience, Dougal takes care of you when you get down there. I'll be honest with you. I've been down there a few times. Dougal does the right thing, man. He goes above and beyond for his guests. I appreciate what you did for me, Dougal.
Yo, when I rented a house in Vegas last year and Dougal drove out to LA to meet me, we had this house. It was pretty nice, man. We had a pool and shit, you know what I mean? And it was 120 degrees out, and Dougal slept in his car. He must have been roasting out there, man. I mean, were you rocking the AC, just wasting the gas, or were you just melting?
So it gets cool overnight. I mean, once the sun goes down, like, it's pretty cool. You know,
Man, when that sun comes up, bro.
Yeah, it's just 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock. That's when you're roasting.
You know, and it gets so hot that, like, when you're driving in the car, the air conditioning air gets hot by the time it reaches you from the dashboard to you.
That's some hot shit.
Yeah, and, like, white people always love to say things like, "Man, it's not the heat, it's the humidity that gets you." No, motherfucker, it's the heat. It's 120 motherfucking degrees. I don't care if this is wet or dry. This shit is hot.
Shit's
yeah,
hot.
That. You can't go outside in Vegas. That's
Fuck
why there's
that,
people
man.
walking out in the street. Everyone's in their car.
It's freezing cold inside those casinos. There's no temperature regulation in that city. When you're inside, you're freezing. When you're outside, you're melting. What a
Billy
fucked
had
up place, man.
The house that Billy was talking about, I wouldn't even go. They had an awning and then like a nice pool. You know, it's a pretty nice pool. I wouldn't even go out of the awning. I didn't want to go anywhere near the pool because it was like 150 degrees. I didn't even want to be in the pool.
It's
No,
bad.
Dougal, so I met up with you on the West Coast twice last year.
Well, once in Vegas, yeah, and once for that Utah trip, yeah.
Well, we met in Vegas, and then we drove out to Utah, right?
Yeah.
Yo, how was that walking? How were your feet after that day of walking in that river? That was
wasn't too
bad, right?
I mean,
Oh, that hurt my
it was
feet
okay.
bad.
I mean, the shoes were whatever. They were okay. I thought it was going to be worse than it was. It actually turned out. The worst thing for me was, like, I had my school bag, right? Like, I had my backpack. I was like, okay, I'm taking fucking waters. I need fucking 6 pairs of socks. I need 3 underwears. I need 4 T-shirts. I need 5 packs of fucking batteries. We're going to be out in the woods. So we go on this fucking hike for like 5 hours underwater. That's, you know, it ranges from 2 feet of water to 6 feet of water to 3 feet of water as you go. Long story short, all my shit got soaking wet. I had to throw out all my socks. I had to throw out all my T-shirts.
We did.
I threw out all my batteries.
Hey,
I came home, everything was soaked.
I'll tell you what, for 2 city boys, Dougal, we took that hike to a whole nother level, man. We were at places that I don't think many people have gone, and we saw some shit. And that was fucking crazy fun, wasn't it?
Those waterfalls.
Right? Climbing up those waterfalls. Remember the first one? We're like, I don't know if we could do it. And we just were like, fuck it, man. Fuck it. Dave, that's something you got to check out, man.
What's that?
It was like we died and went to heaven.
Yeah, like, you know, I think about this all the time when I was on that trip, like being a city kid, being living in a concrete jungle my entire life, basically growing up in a box. There's so much shit going on in the world, and when you go on vacation, you usually end up in a resort or another city. This particular vacation, we went to a couple national parks, and we went on like 12-hour hikes up mountains and through valleys, and you just had this like peaceful moments, like in this beautiful nature, and you almost like come down with this weird feeling of like, I don't think that I even have deserved to see this. But at the same time, you know, I'm taking it all in, and it's glorious, but there's some fucking asshole who walks down Times Square and thinks the same thing. Like, he looks at those buildings and he's like, wow, Randy, this is fucking rad. But
They both
Times
have
Square sucks dick.
they both have their beauty though. You can't knock.
There's nothing beautiful about Times Square. That place is disgusting.
Stop, Bill. Come on, man. You can't knock
Fuck
it.
Times Square. Fuck Times Square.
If you were in like
Fuck Times
if you were in
Square.
like the late '80s, '90s, I'd be like, all right, you have the point.
That still sucks, bro. There's always people around. Get the fuck away from me, man. What do I need you people for? I don't know.
Trip to
I'm out
Utah
on
was
Times
pretty
Square.
good, though.
No, I agree. Like, I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan of Times Square or anything like that. But to knock it, you know, it's just it's always alive. You know what I mean?
Yo, this fucking mountain was alive, man.
No, I
We watched
agree.
that lightning storm.
Were you on mushrooms?
Lightning
No.
crash.
No, we weren't. Man, you didn't need mushrooms out there, right, Doolittle?
You were loving that lightning, like in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that was
Like, out of
really
the tent and
intense.
shit.
Yeah, that was really intense, man. That was so fucking cool. Yo,
Love
light
that.
up the whole valley, man. That was so cool. Sally from the valley.
Yeah, it was one of those. It was one of those once in a lifetime joints. That place.
And Dennis kept saying things like, we were going to climb this mountain that was like, I think 2 people died there last year. It's like kind of
Angel's
a dangerous
Landing.
hike. Yeah, it's kind of a dangerous hike. It's really not that severe, but whatever. It's got some weird things you got to do, like jumping on rocks and shit. And
Super high. It was like the
you know,
highest one out of all the fucking 10 hikes. This was like the
yeah,
highest
and it was,
one.
we were right in the middle of like a lightning storm.
That's pretty
And
cool.
and Dennis was like, yo, maybe we could just do this next time we come here. And that's when Frank looked at me and he's like, I'm never coming back here, Bill. So if we're going to do this, we better fucking do it now. And I was like, yeah, let's go.
That's the way to
It was
think
all-
about
It
it.
was
That's
like
the way
9
to
in the
do it.
morning. It was 9 in the morning. It was all cloudy and shit. You know, one dude had like the fucking weather forecast on his phone and shit. I was leaving because it was my time to go. I was heading back. I was like, all right, guys, I'm out of here. Because I was going to leave anyway. And everyone was like, all right, you know, it's super cloudy. It's lightning.
And it was like they have like a board that they write on by the lodge where you go in the morning, like maybe if you want to get something real quick before you head out on your hike. And they had like a thing, and it said like Angel's Landing, red level 5, do not attempt. You know what I mean? But yo, like Frank said, I'm not coming back here ever. So this is something we're never going to get a chance to see this again.
It kind of became like Frank was like, all right, I'm doing it. And then like the word was spreading around our group of like 10 people, like, oh, he's doing it. No one wanted to back down. Like, okay, I'll do it. Well, we might want to do it. Long story short, I left. I had like a 7-hour drive back to L.A. and as I'm leaving, I see the whole storm going towards them. Like it's raining cats and dogs, like super cloudy, dark as hell. It looked like it was 8 o'clock at night. It was like 9 in the morning, going towards them. And I didn't hear from them for 2 months. I was like trying to get in touch. I'm like, hey, how'd it go?
Yo, while you're climbing this mountain, when you get to the top third. Right,
So wait, just to go over for our viewers. So you did do the climb in the storm?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, God bless you. That was great, cool.
You know,
wait, can you explain that though? Explain what you.
We got very lucky. We got very lucky because the first 2/3 of the hike are. It's kind of just like walking uphill. It's basically what it's like in a circle for like 7 hours or 8 hours straight. And it's pretty fucking steep. And it's slippery and, the edge is right there. But, it's not really that dangerous, I guess. The top third of that hike is where it's so steep and there's nowhere to put your feet that over the years, the National Park Society actually has put, like, metal rods. They drill them into the rock, and then they put metal chains on them, and you have to you're climbing at like 90 degrees, so you're like it's like you're scaling a wall, and you're holding on to this metal chain to climb up the mountain, and that's the top third of the hike. So luckily for us, we marched up the first 2/3 as the lightning was coming, and so we didn't have to climb the chains while the lightning was going. Then we got to the top.
So hold on. If you had to climb the chains, you wouldn't have been able to do it?
Well, so here's the thing. So we did get a little bit of a late start. A lot of people like to start that hike at 6 a.m. because it ends up being a 10 or 12-hour hike depending on your experience and your skill level and your stamina. So there are a lot of people who get out there at 6 in the morning or 5 in the morning or 4 in the morning just to get an early crack on it. And as we got to like the top of the second third, we noticed that nobody was coming down at all. Like usually the whole time you're going up, you're seeing people coming down, and you're seeing other people behind you. It had been like maybe 2 hours. We didn't see anybody behind us. We didn't see anybody ahead of us. And then the rain stopped as we got to this plateau, which marked like the top of the second third. And then we started seeing everybody come down. And what happened was, all these people got to the top, and then the lightning storm became really severe on the top of the mountain. So they couldn't come down. They were stuck, and there's no coverage up there. You're stuck at the top of a mountain and there's nowhere to go, and it's just a violent lightning storm right above you, like rain and wind, and there's nowhere to go.
That's
But
gotta
then
be
when the lightning
terrifying.
stopped, it had to be. So when the lightning stopped, they came down, and we made our way up. We didn't really have to stop. It kind of just worked out with the timing for us. So we get to the top, and it's like this beautiful sunny day. And like I said, this is probably a 4 to 5 hour walk up, or even 6 hours to walk up. And you get up there, and everyone's like eating a banana or a protein bar or a shake. And I sit down, I put my legs over the edge, and I just lit up a Newport. And I'm sitting there smoking my Newport, right? And like people are making a face at me, like, what the fuck? Like, you know, you don't smoke, so you don't know. Maybe you're the asshole that does it when you walk past someone in the street with a cigarette and you make the fake coughing noise, like, hey, shut the fuck up, bro. Anyway,
Let me make this clear. I've never done that before in my life.
well, people were doing that.
You're talking to the man who smoked 9 Lucky Strike cigarettes
Right,
at the same time right now.
unfiltered,
Thank you, Dougal.
unfiltered.
And let me just add on there. Stolen pack of 9 cigarettes from Farmer in the Dell. We stole those.
Yeah, we did. So I light up my Newport, and I'm not drinking any water or eating. You know how I am. I'm just doing my own thing. And like somebody's like, I overheard them saying like, "That's so disgusting" or something like that. And I just turn around and I'm like, "Yo," I said to the guy, I said, "Yo, I've been smoking cigarettes for a long time. I smoke a lot of cigarettes. If there was ever one time in my entire life that I deserved a fucking cigarette, it's right now." They really weren't happy with that. They told their trail guide that I was abrasive or something.
Fuck them, bro. You
But
did the
yeah,
right
fuck
thing.
them is right.
Do
Yeah,
whatever you want
that
to
was
fucking
actually-
do. When you reach that euphoric state where you've done
Yeah.
something, that's on you.
Yeah.
Whatever is your
Dude,
thing to do, do it.
listen.
I don't give a fuck.
Listen, the amount of physical activity I do on a daily basis, I had no business making it to the top of that fucking mountain. You know what I'm saying?
God
This was
bless you.
intense, man. It was intense, but I wasn't going to give up.
It's
that
an
was for damn
achievement.
sure.
You did an absolute achievement, man. And then you know what?
True.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't even hear this story from you ever, and you know, you're Bill, you know, and I never heard this, but you should be proud of what you did with that. That's
I
awesome.
was. I
You
was
should.
proud, and I felt really good, and it was, you know, it was like a high. That's why I said we didn't need any mushrooms.
is.
It was like I was high.
Good for you.
And while we were on the way up, that same tour, that group, like people hire a guide to take them up there. You know, so again, we're like 6 city kids. We don't do shit like this. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. We're wearing fucking Jordans. These guys got like M gears with fucking walking sticks and shit. You know what I mean? Like, I got a fucking Dougal's walking around with a 2-liter of Mountain Dew. I'm not even kidding you.
Dougal loves Mountain Dew.
These people got like camelbacks with like electrolyte infused water and shit, and like they do this every day, and they make it like so dramatic. And I'm just like walking around smoking cigarettes, like what the fuck is the big deal here? And on the way up, I saw this guy. He like stopped his group, and like I said, it was a big storm. So he's like, "All right, guys, this is a little bit dangerous. So instead of going this route like everybody else usually would go, we're gonna go this way. It's a little bit more coverage." And I kind of just like leaned in to hear what he was saying. You know what I mean? And the guy turns and he's like, "I'm not your paid guide. Please back away from the group."
What a jerk off.
I said,
Pull the timeout and you're on your team and you try to
I said,
get
yo,
in there.
you're a fucking asshole. And I just walked away, and we went the dangerous way. Fuck that guy.
Good.
Pay some guy to show me how to walk.
Yeah, fuck that guy. And
Listen,
you know what?
there's
You got
only
the
one way
better.
to the
You
top
got
of the mountain, and
you
it's
got the
up.
better experience than those fucking pricks. I guarantee that.
Yeah. Listen, if you get lost walking to the top, there's something wrong with you. It's up.
It's up. There's no left,
Oh, you
right.
wanna go
It's
down?
up.
It's down. There's no other fucking way to go here. I recommend that any of us city kids, you got to try that out. Something like that. You got to really do that because it's not something that we know. We don't know it. It's not us. It's not in our blood.
Nah, I agree with you. And it's vice versa. It's people.
And it doesn't seem appealing until you're there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's like-
we started doing that whole, hike in the water. I thought we were hiking up a mountain at first. Like, it was like a half a mile hike just to get to the water. And then once we got in the water, it was like a fucking 6-hour hike inside the water. And I was like, oh, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
So we got going a little bit. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool.
When
Yeah.
you were hiking in the water, did you? Again, this is like a city person question. Did you see animals?
No. No,
Really?
you're in a very tight valley, Dave.
Really?
So
Okay.
what this is there's a massive like body of water,
Canyon.
and all of the water runs through this canyon, and over millions of years, it forged a river in between these rocks, basically a canyon. And you're walking in this canyon. Now, water levels were high, so like the average water was waist high that you're walking in the entire time. Then there's other times where you're underwater, and then there's other times where the water is at your ankles.
Really? It's
But, like,
that
the number one-
it's that much? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and it's constantly moving like if you were to drop something like a bottle cap in the water, it would wash away before you could grab it.
Wow.
Yeah,
That
that's why
car-
I remember someone said, "Hey, is it okay if I take a piss in here?" And
Right.
someone else like, "Yeah, take a piss. It's not going to do anything."
Yeah, it's a river.
It's
You're in a river.
A trillion gallons of water. It's not going to do anything.
You're in a river, and as high up as you can see is just rocks.
That's
on each
cool.
side.
That's really cool.
There's no like dry land. And the number one thing you got to watch out for is flash floods, because people die there from flash floods all the time. Because if one of those storms comes out of nowhere that like brews over the top of a mountain, it floods that canyon. Like instead of 3 feet of water, now you're at 40 feet of water in seconds.
That's crazy.
There's nowhere to go, right, dude? If that thing flooded, we just would have died or something, I guess.
It was a tight, it was like a large area in terms of length, but in terms of like width, you had like 2 walls on either side of you. Like,
Yeah,
and it was,
Dave, picture walking through a driveway that's 40 miles long, and the walls on each side of the driveway are 600 feet up or 200 feet up.
That's fucking intense.
Yeah, it was. Man, it was a good time. It was, and it's not something I ever thought I would enjoy. It's not something I ever thought I would find myself doing.
I'll tell you what,
I
the
didn't
way
even know we were gonna do
I'll
that.
tell you what, the way you guys spoke about it has me wanting to do it really bad. Like you did a
We should go
good job
back
of
there.
just
I
showing.
would go back there. I actually thought about it. I would like to wait until my kids are like 12, and I would take them over there. You know what I mean?
and Bill, we didn't even talk about the restaurant. We had a whole other thing going on at that restaurant.
Oh yeah,
That was a whole other scene.
yeah, baby. Man, that was a really good trip, and that was a bachelor party, Dave.
Yes, I remember. I remember you guys speaking about it.
We didn't even see a nipple. The only nipple I saw was Dennis's.
Good old Dennis.
And Dougal wore a black velour jumpsuit the entire time.
Is that true, Dougal?
It was like a sweat. It was like sweatpants and a sweatshirt.
Fila or no Fila?
It was Nike.
All right, fair enough.
Because I am a big Nike is one of our sponsors, and I'm a big supporter of Nike and what they're doing with Colin Kaepernick. Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, so let's get into football here, guys.
All right, let's go.
Let's get into some football this week. Speaking about NFL Week 5, there's a couple of games I've been looking at. The first game I want to talk about is, how about Chicago -3 at Miami? Miami's coming off 2 consecutive losses to the Patriots and the Bengals. Chicago has been pretty good on defense. They have to go on the road. Tough game. Generally I like teams coming off a bounce back, so I would think I would go with Miami here. But you know what? Ryan Tannehill, not a quarterback. Chicago's defense is good. Yes, they do have Khalil Mack. You know what? I'm going to stick with Chicago coming off a bye. Give me Chicago -3 at Miami here on Sunday, guys.
I'm gonna
On the road.
I'm gonna totally agree with you solely on the defense. I think they're gonna dominate Tannehill. I think they're gonna crush him. I'm gonna go with you easily on the Bears on this one.
I actually like Miami in this one.
You would, fucking prick.
I think Trubisky's he's mistake prone. I think that Chicago offense turns the ball over way too often. Miami doesn't really turn the ball over much. Khalil Mack's a fucking animal, but the tape's getting out on him, and they're not playing an AFC team that's played Khalil Mack before they have film on him. I'm not saying they're gonna stop him. Don't misconstrue my words. But they're gonna deal with him better. I'm gonna take Miami in that game.
How about the Rams? We got the Rams -7. They're going on the road. Everyone loves the Rams. They won their first 4 games. They against the spread. They covered their first 4 games. They're 5-0. Tough game at Seattle last week. Only won by a few points. Now the Rams have to go on the road at Denver. We all know Denver's a tough team at home. They're a different team at home. We saw what they did against the Jets. They look like shit on the road. How about the Rams -7 Denver. We know Jared Goff's not a tough guy. He's not the toughest quarterback in the league. Will all these Rams plays work up there in Denver, or how do you see this game playing out? For me, it's a stay away. Going to my head, I'm taking the Rams, but
What was the line on
the
it?
road at Denver, tough game. The Rams -7 on the road at Denver.
Denver is not Denver anymore.
They suck. Come on.
Yeah, give me the Rams. Give me the Rams.
We're talking about the number one offense in the NFL with the Rams.
Listen, I wouldn't touch a game involving the Rams or the Chiefs until that week, I think, 9 matchup. Because that's must-see TV right there. When the Rams and the Chiefs, they're on a collision course here. The Chiefs do have to get through a tough game. Is that game intriguing you at all?
Absolutely.
The Sunday night game, that's a very intriguing game.
Yeah, the NFL actually flexed that game. It was supposed to be San Francisco and the Rams, and they moved it, and they flexed that game over to Sunday night.
That game,
That's an absolutely, definitely intriguing game.
that's going to be a
100%.
really good game.
I mean, KC that's kind of an interesting team for me, Bill. I mean, we saw what happened.
What I think is funny is that last year, if anybody remembers correctly, through 5 or 6 games, Alex Smith for MVP, Andy Reid, Coach of the Year, and Alex Smith has finally found his game. After all these wasted years, here comes Alex Smith. He's got the team he needs. Everything is great. Oh, shit, the Chiefs suck. And they rattle off outrageous amount of losses, monster blowouts, game after game after game. And now you're looking at a very similar situation with the hot start. And everyone's saying the same thing. Mahomes is great. Mahomes is the greatest. Mahomes is the next Aaron Rodgers. I mean, look, Deshaun Watson was the next Aaron Rodgers last year. And it's great to watch a young kid like this tear through the league. But is this guy the next Aaron Rodgers, or are we jumping the gun here right now?
Jumping the gun a little bit, but just the Chiefs in general. I mean, do you think they're going to keep this up? I mean, we saw this last year.
Their problem is the defense. They got no defense. They literally have no defense.
So you got to realize that Tom Brady is willing to put up 48 points this weekend.
Definitely.
I mean, balls deflated.
I mean, Dougal, you have the over/under in front of you?
I got it right here.
The over/under on deflated footballs?
59.
That's 10.
59?
59 and a half.
69 balls. There you go.
59 and a half. I want to take the over. I think the Patriots going to put up 35 at least.
Everything in my world is telling me to take the Chiefs here.
It is, but it's so tough to bet against these Patriots.
It's just that the Chiefs, they...
What do we got on the line? What was the line?
The Chiefs are getting 3.5.
The Chiefs are getting 3.5?
Under and over started out at 58. It's now 59.
Everybody's betting it.
Not
I mean,
a huge difference.
Yeah,
Not a huge difference at 1 point.
it's moving
Might
though.
change.
Yeah, it's moving.
I don't know if the Patriots are athletic enough to keep up with these guys.
I
man.
agree. That's the thing. The Patriots, we don't know what they are. They put up like
They're
what?
The Patriots.
What?
They're the Patriots.
Are they? They put up 40-something points and then they don't, right? It's like back and forth.
I like the Chiefs.
Wait, hold on. Is Tom Brady still getting his balls deflated?
Enough with the deflation.
Dougal really doesn't like cheaters.
He didn't cheat. He just the
that's
balls.
not true. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Dougal's entire. He's got like the budget DVR package, and the entire thing is filled up with Stony Brook basketball games, and that show Cheaters.
Also, Rutgers basketball games.
How about the Rutgers football team? You watch those games?
Yeah, I'm betting against them every week, and they just lost against Illinois.
They are terrible.
They're 0-5 against the spread, Bill.
Who's got a paycheck pick? What do you got?
My paycheck game this week, you know what? I feel like everyone's on this team right now, but I have to stick with them because they've been covering for me, and I can't go against them now. So I'm going to have to stick with them. I'm talking Cincinnati, -2.5 at home versus Pittsburgh. The Steelers suck on the road. I'm not buying that last win. They beat Atlanta. Who cares? So what? Big deal. Atlanta sucks. They're in the rebuilding mode. Their defense is done. If you remember this game last year, this was what I called a manslaughter game. And what I mean by that is it was a Monday night game against Cincinnati Pittsburgh where there was a total of 10 concussions. And if there wasn't a football game in a regulation NFL, the things that would have been going on would have been classified as a manslaughter for 10 people.
There was that vicious.
Lawyers.
Who's that? Vontez Burfict came with a vicious fucking hit last time, right?
And and then Smith-Schuster knocked him out of the game.
That's right.
Right, it was on like on a comeback. He was on a crackback block.
That's right.
Got him going against the grain. Long story short, give me Cincinnati -2.5 at home versus Pittsburgh. Cincinnati's 4-1 against the spread this year, and they have been covering for me, so I'm going to stick with them.
I actually really like Cincinnati in that game as well. I mean, out there in Pittsburgh, you got a lot of turmoil going on. You got the Le'Veon Bell, Raplesberger. He's talking things. He's saying that Connor should be the starter or at least get some playing time when Le'Veon Bell comes back. There's a lot of – Mike Tomlin is one of the most bizarre guys I've ever heard speak in public. And even with all those –
tripped the guy in the sideline?
That was fucking ridiculous.
I've never seen that before.
Mad good move. Mad good move.
He was trying to make like it didn't happen. Like, you're on TV. This is the NFL. You're not like in a crowd. This isn't a marathon. Like,
wait, what's the new turmoil?
NFL game.
Wait, what's the new turmoil going on in Pittsburgh right now? Antonio Brown like threw furniture at a little kid or something? You guys know anything about this?
I didn't see it. I didn't see that. I'm looking up now.
He like threw furniture at a kid or something.
Was it a couch or?
What kind of furniture are we talking?
I don't know.
Like a love seat or?
It's really fucking weird, man.
All right, Bill. Who do you like for you? Do you have a paycheck game this week?
Yeah, I like the Cowboys for my paycheck pick.
Okay.
I know my picks haven't really been on point, but I think I've hit every paycheck pick so far, and lost every other fucking game.
Well, you had the Cardinals last week. That hit.
Of course it hit.
They played so much. The 49ers.
Yeah.
You were all over that. You were all over that.
C.J. Beathard, get the fuck out of here.
So
Beathard.
So I'll read you. I'll read you real quick. So Brown is being sued by a man from Florida for the infliction of emotional distress and assault. The suit accuses Brown of nearly killing and scaring the crap out of the man's toddler son by throwing a bunch of shit out the window of his apartment that nearly struck the kid. Brown had flown into a rage after returning home from an extended trip to discover that someone had robbed him of $80,000 and a handgun, and he accused the building security of setting him up. Oh, and Brown also thought someone had stolen his black Rolls Royce, only to slam the door in the face of the cops who arrived at the apartment to take the report after he called 911 again the following day. And that's about it. That's the whole thing.
They probably did set him up.
They definitely did. Easy. Remember Easy? We've seen building security before. Not the tightest.
Listen, these guys are getting robbed regularly.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
There's been a slew of robberies
all the time.
Yeah.
It's just look. Who's it? Who's your boy from Miami, Dougal? The safety from Miami.
Landry.
And his his cousin robbed him.
Right, the guy
And
from
they fucking killed
Taylor,
him, man.
Sean Taylor. Yeah.
Man, you want to talk about a career cut short? Oh.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
That guy was a stud, man. That guy was a fucking stud.
What people would do for fucking $40,000.
It's crazy.
You know?
It's mind-boggling. It really is.
I mean, it's a lot of money, but I'm not gonna fucking do.
It's not ending life kind of money. You know what I mean?
It's not worth anything like that.
Yeah.
So, Bill, you like Dallas at home +3 against Jacksonville?
Yeah.
That's your paycheck pick? Because I'll tell you what, I'm on the complete opposite side with Jacksonville right there. I think they're going to shut Ezekiel Elliott down, and they have nothing else after that.
Yeah, and the Jacksonville Jaguars paid Blake Bortles to play football, so,
They get the 8th best offense in the NFL. Listen, all they have, Dallas, is a running game. That's the entire thing they have.
Dak sucks.
He's horrible, that guy.
He sucks.
Oh, my God. Him and the Giants, the Cowboys and the Giants are having a quarterback situation.
He sucks.
He's not good. Listen, I'm taking Jacksonville on this one We're head-to-head on our paycheck pick.
All right, so we got a head-to-head. We want to do a side bet here, guys?
A side bet here. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. I bet you a pound of pinoli cookies.
Deal. We're in. It's pound of pinoli cookies. What's the line now? What are we doing line?
3.
Three?
It's 3.
All right. Done. Deal.
It was 3 when I looked.
Deal. Dougal, you approve?
Yep.
All right. We're good.
I'm also a fan of the Browns this week. I know it's not a
You love
paycheck
the
pick.
Browns.
Yeah, why do you love every
And you
week?
hit on that versus the Jets.
Every week.
I like the Browns here.
Against the
I like
Chargers?
the yeah.
Didn't you love the Chargers?
I gave up on the Chargers. I'm done with them.
Yeah, I'm completely done with the Chargers. I don't care what the line. I don't care if they're getting points, giving points. I'm completely done with them.
You know what the Chargers are good for right now? You know what the Chargers are good for right now?
Missing a field goal.
No, Austin Eckler. You get him for real cheap on the daily fantasy sports leagues. He's a nice flex guy. You get him for like just under $4,000. The guy's going to put up 12 daily fantasy points because he catches 6 passes. That's pretty much the only reason I would be interested in anything that had to do with the Chargers at this point.
I would agree with that. You sound like Jay-Z right there, though.
J-Ho.
Give me
I checked like the food inspector.
check your breakfast.
Oh,
Yo, off topic. Has anybody heard the Nori album, 5E?
No.
I'll tell you what. In the generation we grew up in, bro, check the album out. That album is excellent. Excellent.
Papoose is back, though. Papoose is back. Back to the streets.
Dougal.
It's like a 30-minute album
Dougal,
on YouTube.
trust me on this with the Nori album, man. You're going to like it. You like Noriega to be like Noriega and Capone? You liked it, right?
Yeah, I like Nori.
Yeah, bro.
Dave, I don't know if you could have said that any whiter.
I probably
Do
couldn't.
you like Noriega and Capone? You sound like Rosenberg.
Paul Rosenberg.
This is Peter Rosenberg. I'm leaving Hot 97, and I'm gonna go with Michael K now and just sit on the side.
Everything
I'm gonna
you
sit
need
on
to
the
know with some Jewish kid. What is that? That's weird. That's a weird show. Donald
Paul
Greco.
Rosenberg.
That's a weird show.
Can't listen to that. That's like a non-listen. I mean, you have to. That's one of those you have to pay me for. You know, like that's like Colin Cowherd.
Yo, did you listen to Mike today?
Those shits.
Did you listen to Mike today?
I was out there. I'm gonna do clips later though.
Oh man, a guy called up and he's like, Mike, you said that the Yankees are going to be able to hit Porcello. You were dead wrong, Mike. You were dead wrong.
I didn't
Admit
say
it.
that.
No, he was admitted on the air.
That.
So Mike's like, nobody cares about my predictions. What's wrong with you? It doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong. What's wrong with you? That's a non-story. That was a stupid call. Man, he went off on this guy. He admitted that he was wrong. What? You know what? He still wouldn't admit that he was wrong. And the guy was like screaming in the background, admit you're wrong! Admit you're wrong! You never admit when you're wrong! It was pretty good. See if you can get that. It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
You know what? I give that caller credit because there's a lot of people out there, believe it or not, there's a lot of people out there, they're very intimidated by Mike. You don't want to call Mike and go at him. There's only a select few people that will do that. He's very intimidating. You know, he will take you right on the air, and then if you say something against him that's right, bam, he cut you off. You're gone.
It's because he's a
hangs
dick.
up on you.
Gone.
He's a dick. That's a dick.
Yeah,
I
he's
don't
a
know.
dick, but you never. Do you want to call him up and say that?
I call him up and call him a dick. He's a dick. He's a fat
They'll
dick.
hang up on you.
That's fine. That's what he's gonna do because he's a coward.
Well, you can't say that on the air, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
speaking of fat, I mean, Bill, I feel like let me know what you think about this. I feel like the word fat is like it's like taboo now. It's like it's body shaming. Like I'm not talking about going up to someone saying hey you're fat. Obviously we're not gonna do that. Like that's rude, whatever. But like say a commercial comes on or you see something on Instagram or a video or something, you just be like, oh look at that fat fuck. But you can't even say that now. You know, like, if you're at work, you can't say fat. You get fired for that.
So here's the thing. I was actually talking to somebody about this at work today, and I'm sure we've all talked about this because we're right in the middle of this generational gap between like the millennials and our parents. We're kind of in the middle. There's like a 2 or 3 year range here where we were raised in the older environment, but we're trying to live in the new world. So it's very difficult for us to understand what we can and can't say without offending people or without crossing a line, especially in the workplace. Dude, you work in a large company. I'm sure they've sat you guys down and talked about like diversity and inclusion, right? They talk to you guys about that.
There's certain things I don't want to say. I'll just go with other words. Instead of saying what I'm really with the obvious thing.
So what do you go with? Like he's big boned, husky? Is husky offensive?
Big boned it.
Jesus Christ.
Actually, we see the red light going off here.
Actually, hold on.
The Jets game.
All right. You want to go to Jets game? Go ahead, Jets game. Go ahead.
Not the Jets.
We got the Colts plus 2.5.
Loving the Colts here.
Jets. Yeah, I love the Colts too, bro. I really
loving the Colts here.
I love the Colts here.
It almost seems obvious though. Maybe that means we should bet on the Jets.
I had to look at it 3 times. I thought the Colts were going to be minus 2.5, 3.
Well, it's going to be in New York, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's where those 3 points come from. They're saying it's an even matchup basically, and they're giving the home field advantage. I don't know. I like the Colts. I actually think the Colts are a good team this year. I don't think they're an exceptional team, but I think they took a step forward. Andrew Luck looks good to me. I know he lost that game in New England, but he looks good to me. Offensive line looks improved. T.Y. Hilton's got to get healthy because they need he needs somebody to throw the ball to.
Yeah, it's tough with a hamstring. Was that last game against the Patriots? Who they play last game? Was it the Pats or?
I think it was the Pats. It was the Pats.
Yeah, man, how many drop passes did they have?
Yeah,
I watched that game.
Yeah,
Andrew Luck was putting the ball right in these guys in the middle of their hands, and they didn't catch it. He was throwing darts. They just were not catching the football. Give me the Colts plus 2.5.
What's the deal with him getting such scrutiny on his deep ball? Is it? I haven't watched a lot of Colts games to be honest, but I know he's been getting hammered over his not being able to throw a deep ball. Is that accurate?
I mean, he's still coming back from his injury. He's only played 4 or 5 games. I mean, they don't have their deep threat. Fucking Hilton, he has a hamstring injury. He's probably not going to come back from that. Definitely not coming back 100%. So they don't really have a deep threat right now. They don't have much offensively, to be honest with you, but they're kind of making it work. I mean, he's hitting the tight end a lot. They have the guy from the tight end from the fucking Lions who's actually catching the football. No one else is. They don't really have much to work with, Can anyone name a fucking receiver from the Colts?
I absolutely.
It's over. Go do something else. The podcast is finished. We will see you next week, and that is all.